to the 2020 Pride of Guernsey Awards. Please welcome on stage Mr. Terry Holder.
Your Excellency, Lady Calder, Mr. Bailiff, Mrs. McMahon, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to the Guernsey press in what has been a most remarkable year. It was remarkable that the team of Gavin, Heidi and Nicola got a grip on coronavirus so quickly and efficiently and in an open and straightforward manner. It was also remarkable that so many people in Guernsey volunteered to support those most at risk. Indeed, it's remarkable that we're here at all this evening, sharing a meal with those who make an extraordinary contribution to life in Guernsey. It looked a slim possibility back in the spring. Pride of Guernsey shines a light on what can sometimes be taken for granted. And you can look forward to some great stories this evening. Our readers have voted in huge numbers and provided the top 3 nominees in each category. It's also remarkable that our partners in these awards, who each host a category and a table this evening, have continued their support, given that some of them would have had a hard time during lockdown. And it's a privilege to work with these people. So the lineup this evening is Angel of the Year, hosted by Ravenscroft, Arts Contribution, hosted by Moonpig, Carer of the Year and the Guernsey Press, Conservation Hero and Butterfield, Customer Service and Cherry Godfrey, Diversity and Inclusion, hosted by RBC and Liberate, Emergency Hero and the Mad Max race team. Now, most of you will know the sad news by now that the leader of the Mad Max race team, Zeph Eisenberg, passed away this week in an attempt to beat a land speed record. Zeph was here at Pride last year, and he was a winner of the Paris Champion category. With his team, the Friends of Someray Park Playground. He also was nominated previously for Overcoming Adversity. He was so impressed with the concept of these awards that he chose to sponsor this year's Emergency Hero of the Year. Zeph was a big supporter of Guernsey, who had previously been nominated for the Guernsey Press Ambassador of the Year award. Our condolences to his family and friends. To continue the lineup, we have Grandparent of the Year and the Channel Islands Cooperative Society, Neighbour of the Year hosted by Guernsey Gas, Overcoming Adversity and Close Finance, Parent of the Year and DWA, Teacher of the Year hosted by HSBC, and Young Achiever hosted by St Pierre Park Hotel, Spa and Golf Resort. Many thanks for your support in making these awards so popular with our readers. Also, a big thank you to the people who bring this evening to life. Our hosts, Carl Ward and Gary Burgess. The judges in each category who have a difficult task which requires time and patience to reach a decision. Joy's Production Services, who light up this building for this evening. And behind the scenes, REFCO and OGH. And finally, my colleagues at the Guernsey Press, who have battled through all the additional issues in the past few months to make these awards possible. They know who they are. So well done to all. Thank you and enjoy your evening.
Thank you very much, Terry. Now, we've made you wait long enough, I think, so feel free to enjoy your food. It's been expertly prepared, as always, back for another year. Award-winning chef Daniel Green and his team. It's put together in celebration of Guernsey's fantastic local produce. So do enjoy. If you're watching on the live stream, by the way, we'll be back in around 45 minutes' time. We'll aim to do the awards in about that time. Thank you. Enjoy your meal. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed your meal. You did. I know you did. Award-winning chef Daniel Green. Thank you. Let's give him a round of applause, Daniel Green and his team. Welcome back also if you're watching on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for being here and there in TV land. Talking of which, now time to introduce our guest host for this evening. Well known in the island as a journalist, a broadcaster, a writer. He's worked for Island FM, BBC Radio Guernsey, ITV Channel TV, done the lot. Very talented man. He's currently based in Jersey, but he did refuse to let the little strip of water and the mandatory isolation period prevent him from being with us this evening, and we are delighted that he's here. This year's Pride of Guernsey Awards co-host with me tonight is Mr. Gary Burgess. Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, good. Hello. He's here in the flesh.
I can't believe you used the J word in here. Just ignore that. That's just a small chapter in my career. I'll be back. Do not worry.
I was going to leave it out, but I thought, hey. But you're having fun over there?
I mean, it's all right. It's bigger, but not better, and it's good to be back to see so many friends. It's sort of like waking from a long sleep, and a few people have got I mean, I'll be honest, a few more wrinkles in a few places, but great to see so many familiar faces, including yourself, Carl.
Yeah, it's good to catch up. We've been catching up over the last couple of days. You're busy as always, and you're doing a bit of everything at the moment. Was that always the plan, to do a bit of radio, writing, TV?
No. My entire career is a happy accident. No, it really wasn't. For health reasons, decided to go freelance a few years ago, and then people are stupid enough to keep saying yes, so I'll just keep taking the work. And who doesn't want to see the same person on the TV, in the newspaper, and then turn the radio on and hear their voice as well? No, nobody. Okay, thanks.
What I was going to ask you, the technology side of stuff, because, I mean, how has that changed in the world of journalism? I mean, it's really come into its own in the last 6 months, the tech side of it.
It's absolutely crazy if you think from a television perspective, but it'll be in different ways the same for the Guernsey press as well. The studios, the camera, the sound operator, the lighting, the satellite truck, genuinely now, we can go live from that, which is desperately disappointing, especially for our technicians who love kit to play with. But it's really changed it, and I think as we've all learned in our own ways during the course of the earlier part of this year, less so in Guernsey because we've got to go out and enjoy ourselves. Thank you, Dr. Brink. But we all learn the benefits. Oh yes, oh yes. We all learn the benefits of being able to work from home. So yeah, technology has helped, and we're seeing it live on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube tonight as well.
So you could, from your phone, as you say, you could, in a matter of minutes, get us and all the crew here live on Channel TV right now. Don't do it, obviously, but you could.
Well, actually, can I just have a big smile, please, for Twitter? This is for smile.
He's off. Look,
Great,
he's
we've done
off
that.
already.
So we've got the picture for Twitter, but yeah, you can go live on TV. It's a 1 second delay for the satellite, and it just works. So if you want to break the news, but it's the same for the journalists here now. Once upon a time, chained to their typewriters, they can be on their laptops and their tablets and get that news straight onto the Guernsey Press website, onto the social media feeds, and onto the front page the next day.
And we've been seeing you doing your reports from home.
Yeah.
And this is kind of perks of the job, I think, really. From your living room, you've worked on the lighting, you've sussed that out, you've got a proper lighting rig and everything. This is from the comfort of your own lounge.
Oh, yeah, good lighting is key.
And there was this one moment, and it was absolutely brilliant. I think it was earlier on this year, because what we see on the telly is really your top half when you're doing a report. So you had your shirt on, looking very smart, and your jacket, and then you did a photo after of the zoomed-out shot, which the viewers didn't see. Tell us this story.
Well, I mean, it's wasteful to wear more clothes than you need to wear. And we all need to think of the environment and laundry. So I just kept my pajama bottoms on. But from the waist up, that is the beauty of telly. You only have to look half decent for 5 minutes. And then, yeah, Jim Jams on the bottom half with your slippers on in the lounge.
And that's the perks of working from home.
Happy days.
Now, I know, Gary, you're super excited about being here. You've heard a lot about this event, your first time here.
Yep.
it's just a great event, isn't it?
It really is. I've watched from afar on the night virtually, looking at the videos afterwards that Mike and the team do as well, and all the photographs, reading about it in the paper. And I know it'll sound like cliche, and we'll probably say it a dozen times during the course of the night, but this year of all years, and I know a bit of what's coming as well, it's a real privilege to be here, and some of the people, some of the stories we've got to celebrate, and just the fact that so many people in the community got involved in the voting process as well. You forget it's not just everyone here in the room tonight. Thousands of people have effectively made tonight happen.
Well, it is great to have you here. Let's hear it for now for Gary Burgess.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Take a seat, sir.
Thank you.
What a legend. What a legend. Look, he gets his own seat and everything. Right. Thank you, Gary, and thank you again for being here. It's now time to start the awards. The winner in each category will receive a prize and one of our very coveted Pride of Guernsey medals. Our first award tonight is an important one, Emergency Hero of the Year. It's not really until you need a lifetime emergency service that you just realize how important that it is. And we all rely on that network of responders who protect us and, of course, keep us safe as well. And there's the guardians of our community who do this vital work around the clock in quite often dangerous conditions on land, on sea, and in the air as well. And without their dedication, bravery, tireless high standards that they put all the time, our unique and enviable safety, of course, would be jeopardized and lives would no doubt be lost. So it's over to Gary now, who's going to tell us who tonight's 3 finalists are.
Okay, Carl, thank you so much. The finalists for the Emergency Hero of the Year award are the Joint Emergency Services Control Centre, being nominated for unseen efforts and hard work. The centre, you might remember, was set up back in 2015 and handles all the emergency calls for the police, for the fire and rescue, for the ambulance, for the Coast Guard as well. And as you might expect, the workload increased during lockdown as it lost some of the staff that were used for the COVID help desk at the same time. Employees working extra hours to cover all of that increased demand. Also, homeschooling children and dealing with all the other personal demands in life as well. The centre is still feeling the brunt right now, with border control still in place, managing the Coast Guard, ensuring vessels from France don't land as well. Lindsay Snell described it as a forgotten aspect of the emergency services that needs a massive thank you and some recognition. Our second nominee is Gavin St. Pierre, Policy and Resources President and Civil Contingencies Authority Chairman. Gavin St. Pierre was nominated for his strong leadership and for helping to get Guernsey safely through the COVID-19 crisis. Now, his nominator, John Blatchford, said that the overall message from the CCA and Deputy St. Pierre's calm attitude throughout the pandemic has been exactly what the island needed. He said, quote, "He's been honest and called it like a shovel." There's a quote I like to see. He added, "We knew exactly where we stood. We're all intelligent and we don't want false promises." Note that, candidates. He said, never did he and I think that he would be honoured for it, but here we are tonight. And Kirsty Grant, an ICU nurse. Kirsty was nominated for saving a man's life while she was off duty. Bob Sweet was working at Bell's Football Club. This was August of last year when he had a cardiac arrest. Now, Ms. Grant was attending a function there, quickly starting CPR, and stayed with him until the ambulance arrived. Mr. Sweet said, "I didn't know until 11 days later when I came out of an induced coma that she was a nurse in ICU. If not for her prompt actions, I wouldn't be here today to tell my story." And Mr. Sweet's stepdaughter, Sean Le Breton, said, "There are no words or actions to show her how grateful we are for her actions." And Carl, those are your nominees.
Thank you very much, Gary. I'd now like to invite Jeff Fox of award partner Mad Max Race Team to present the award. Round of applause for Jeff.
Evening, everyone. It's a bit raw, and a few people know that Mad Max and a certain gentleman would have been here tonight. Right, that's it. Positivity, Zeph would have been the most positive person in this room tonight. All this award and all the people in this award, it's very, very close to his heart. He moved to the island 18 years ago, same time as me, and he is a true Guernseyman. He would do anything for this island. I sat with the three people tonight. The guys from Jesk, amazing. Is to know that these people, 365 days a year, 24/7, 24 hours, look after us when anything happens, and then the first guys to answer it. That's amazing. Gavin, we all know what we've gone through with the rest through COVID this year, but we've got there. We got through the other side, and I know that he would be quite humbled tonight amongst all the rest of the people that are here that are going to receive an award, that it's just part of his job as well as Jesk, but they know that they are front line. Christy, not Kirsty, bloody TV workers. Christy's just a blonde bombshell. She's opposite me. Bob is at the back of the room. I've had a little chat with Bob. To know that when I read the report that Zeph gave me, and it said that Christy was what is she? She's a off-duty ICU. Well, bloody hell. If we know that these people are around us off-duty and they can do this sort of thing and save lives, we're lucky, really lucky. Zeph shot a little video tonight, but we can't show the video. One thing, the rest of the team, Morella, his family, and everyone Mad Max would know that all you guys would be so proud of everyone who's going to receive the awards tonight. So I'm going to open this envelope, bring the person up. Just want to say one thing, that the big fella, you know he's going to set the fastest speed going to heaven. And he's going there. Whew. Thank God it's not you, Gavin. Christy, come on. Bob, I want Bob as well. Bob, come on.
This is daunting. Firstly, I just want to thank, obviously, Zeph and his team at Mad Max for sponsoring this award. Obviously, it's an absolute tragedy what happened this week, and my thoughts go out to his family and friends. Secondly, I really want to thank Bob and his family, come here, for nominating me.
She thoroughly deserves this award, but a cracking lady.
All right, don't steal my limelight. No, that was obviously a really scary day for everybody, but I'm just so pleased that I was there and I could help him. And I'm really pleased that we've been able to build a friendship from that day. Correct. We've got a very special bond now, so I'm very grateful for that. And thank you very much for Guernsey Press for hosting these awards. Thank you.
And Christy, where are we going later?
Follies.
Follies. Mrs. Fox, sorry.
Wow, what a start to the night. The 2020 Pride of Guernsey Awards. Our next award is Teacher of the Year. Now think back to your school days. Of course, great days, I think, for most of us. But I'm sure you can all remember that one just special teacher who managed to make learning seem just so much fun back in the day. So this award really seeks to recognize those who have inspired countless children by using maybe fresh teaching methods and creating an enjoyable and friendly learning environment. That's what it's all about, really. They may have spent decades at the same place of learning or be newcomers to the profession, but they've all had such an important influence on the youngsters' lives that they have helped to develop over the years. Teacher of the Year Gary is going to now tell us about the finalists.
And I will try and get everybody's name correct. Christy, I do apologise. So, Jo Atkinson. Deputy Head Teacher Jo Atkinson has been nominated for going above and beyond in her job at Elizabeth College's Acorn House. Eleanor Saunders described her as a true superstar and a fantastic leader, especially when the children returned to school during the course of the pandemic. She said she's always patient and engaging with the children, and they all love her. She's especially good at talking to them in a way that makes them feel real special and a real individual, and she embraces their differences and above all makes them laugh, and we all need that. Former grammar school assistant head teacher Nicola Ingrell was nominated by 17-year-old student James Sarr for her tremendous efforts during lockdown. Jane praised her constant enthusiasm and ability to lift the mood throughout these uncertain months. And she said she went above and beyond her role as a teacher and made sure to reach out to those who found lockdown and the pandemic particularly challenging. Mrs. Ingrell is now teaching at the Ladies' College. And Savannah King has been praised for her listening ear and always making time to be there for the pupils no matter what. 15-year-old Cody said, "I think that Savannah deserves the award because she helped me when I was at my lowest. I struggled with mental health problems. She was always there to help. I genuinely don't think I would be here right now if I didn't have her." Just hang on those words. Cousin Jake, 14, added, "She always makes time to listen to us and help us in whatever way she can." Those are your nominees.
Thank you very much, Gary. Some well-deserving teachers there, but who's going to win? Well, to announce the winner, let's invite onto the stage Pete Turner of award partner HSBC. Let's hear it for Pete.
Hello and good evening, Guernsey. So I'm absolutely delighted to be here this evening on behalf of everyone from HSBC on Guernsey, presenting the 2020 Teacher of the Year Award. This year's Teacher of the Year category had 26 truly fantastic nominees, and in just reading the nominees, it has only strengthened my belief in the incredible work that teachers of Guernsey deliver, not only inside the classroom, but in supporting the community at any time of day and during any time of the year. Teachers give our children direction, purpose, and the confidence to grow as they navigate an ever-changing world. And this year has only been more prevalent through the increased dedication and resilience as our teachers have adapted to a virtual shift and continue to teach and inspire minds during lockdown, especially in the additional and innovative support that they have provided during the pandemic in offering a safe and reassuring hand. My wholehearted congratulations go to everyone that has been nominated and shortlisted in this category. The winner of this category stood out for their passion, their patience, and their dedication. Their commitment to always going the extra mile, ensuring their pupils were supported both academically and personally, building their confidence and truly making a difference when their pupils were in difficulty. Whilst reading the nominations, you could truly feel the significant impact that this nominee had had on their pupils and will continue to do so as their career flourishes. This individual also spent their personal time during the summer holidays continuing to support the pupils during the uncertainty of lockdown, ensuring they had fun activities planned and someone to talk to so they remained safe and happy. The award for Teacher of the Year goes to the truly inspirational Savannah King.
Oh my God, I don't know what to say. I really didn't think this was going to happen, so I haven't actually prepared a speech, but I just want to shout out to my mum, really, who's here with me for everything and supporting me all the time. I know that my students that have nominated me are watching live now, so obviously a massive thanks to them. I wouldn't be here without them either, so thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Wow, very popular. Congratulations, and thank you, teachers everywhere, for the amazing job that you do. Next award tonight at the Pride of Guernsey Awards 2020, Angel of the Year. Now, there's a whole raft of health professionals, including doctors, nurses, health workers, and they're dedicating their whole careers to the well-being of others, and in many cases, saving people's lives as well. They work around the clock, often operating under extreme pressure, but always with that calming, caring reassurance. Healthcare workers really are, I think you'd say, the heartbeat of our community, and this award gives those angels, as we like to call them, the recognition that their hard work deserves. So it's over to Gary, who's going to run through the 3 finalists.
What a category and what a set of nominations. The finalists for Angel of the Year. Kate Corcoran, school nurse Kate Corcoran, was nominated after she volunteered to go to hands-on nursing, going back to hands-on nursing during lockdown and working in a care home, nursing a number of patients who at the time were seriously ill with COVID-19. Fondly known as the Bee Lady, Kate has dedicated her life to nursing, health, education and support, and all the schools throughout the bailiwick have benefited from her work as a specialist nurse in relationship guidance and health and sex education as well. By volunteering to go back to that hands-on nursing during lockdown, in spite of the risk to herself and to her family as well, she's undoubtedly made a major difference to the other members of staff at the care home and to their patients and to their wider families as well. Our next nominee is Dr. Nicola Brink. You may have heard of her. She's the Director of Public Health, who received several nominations from people for her work in helping the island tackle COVID-19. A familiar face at press briefings, islanders were reassured by her confidence, her transparency, her evidence-based explanations as well, and for the actions that she's taken in response to the COVID-19 crisis. Corey Leprevo, one of those to put her name forward for this award, said, quote, Dr. Nicola Brink has guided the whole community through one of the hardest times for Guernsey since World War II. Bert and Brenda Falaise said Dr. Brink got on with what she had to do in a calm and assuring way to stamp out this enemy from the island. Some other choice quotes: a baloney marvel, a superstar, and an amazing lady. Just some of the phrases used to describe Dr. Brink by her nominators. And Rachel Peterkin-Smith and Alison Legg are 2 midwives who've been jointly nominated for helping to save the lives of a mum and her baby. Dominique Davison put forward Rachel and Alison after they helped her through a traumatic birth. This was last November. She was about 29 weeks pregnant. She became acutely unwell and collapsed while being monitored, her blood pressure rising to a life-threatening level at the time. She was rushed to the delivery room. She was assessed by 3 consultants there, and all the while being given life-saving treatment by Alison and Rachel. She was then flown onto Portsmouth, accompanied by Rachel, who held her hand for the entire flight, and 2 weeks later, her daughter Willow was born in an emergency cesarean section, weighing just under 3 pounds. Mrs. Davidson said, "I will never be able to repay them for saving our lives that day. They are both incredible midwives, and I owe them everything." They're your nominees.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Gary. Well, who's going to win some incredible nominations there? Let's find out. Let's invite Georgie Fletcher of award partner Ravenscroft onto the stage to announce the winner. Let's hear it for Georgie.
Hi, everyone. What a pleasure it is to be here this evening representing Ravenscroft. Unlike many people here, this is my first time attending the Pride of Guernsey Awards. Aside from the delicious halloumi salad and Prosecco, being here this evening is a reminder of just how lucky we are to be living in Guernsey right now. We all lead busy lives, and admittedly, I occasionally find myself taking our position for granted. However, gathering here tonight to celebrate all of this year's nominees highlights just how fortunate we are to call Guernsey home. At Ravenscroft, our clients are the heart of our business. We're a local company, and supporting the community we're a part of is really important to us. Whether that be volunteering at our clients' charity events, sponsoring sports teams, or donating to local causes, we're proud to be contributing and making Guernsey a better place. Ravenscroft has sponsored the Angel of the Year Awards since launch at both the Pride of Guernsey and Pride of Jersey Awards, and it continues to be something we're truly honoured to be a part of. Whilst it's rewarding helping your clients achieve their investment goals, working in investment management can sometimes leave you feeling somewhat detached from what's really important. And that's the incredible work of our healthcare workers we're here to celebrate tonight. It's therefore been a truly humbling experience reading all of this year's nominations, and I feel privileged to have been involved in this year's selection process. The Angel of the Year Award acknowledges the work of those who provide the 24/7 vital service of not only looking after our well-being, but in many cases, saving lives. These people work tirelessly under extreme pressure on a daily basis, but with calming reassurance and a caring smile. My thanks to Will Green from the Guernsey Press for helping me select our angel. The standard of nominations was incredible, with some truly compelling accounts from those who put the nominees forward. What it eventually came down to for us when selecting our angel was identifying the nominees that went above and beyond their job role and what was expected of them, and our winner certainly did that. Let me remind you where we were. Every Thursday, we'd step outside our front doors, banging our saucepans and hooting our car horns, to show our recognition for our healthcare workers. This was our way of showing our appreciation for their tireless efforts and sacrifice in fighting the pandemic. When the cheering was over, we'd step back into the comfort of our own homes while these key workers battled on. There's no disputing how challenging the last 6 months have been for us all. Some of us didn't know when we'd be able to return to work, see our families, or hug our friends. We all did our bit to support the community where we could. However, throughout these unprecedented times, some individuals went one step further, and our winner undoubtedly did this. They voluntarily entered a situation most of us would run away from, potentially putting their own health at risk, as their desire to help and support the vulnerable was greater than their own well-being. Voluntarily committing yourself to help others in a crisis is an act so altruistic, we believe this person deserves to be our Angel of the Year. I'm therefore delighted to announce that the winner of this year's Angel of the Year Award, sponsored by Ravenscroft, is Kate Corcoran.
Wow, I'm absolutely speechless because of the company I was keeping this evening. I'm very overwhelmed. Thank you so much, Ravenscroft, and thank you to the Guernsey Press. I would very much like to thank my team, my family, and my friends for all their support, and all the other people who have done so much within the care homes, particularly at that very scary time. Thank you so much. I feel very humbled and delighted too. Thank you.
Lovely. That was Angel of the Year. Let's move on to our next awards. And it's Conservation Hero of the Year. We're all proud of the natural beauty of our Bailiwick Islands here, including our town, our heritage sites and wide open spaces, and of course our miles of fantastic coastline. I think we've really got to appreciate that in the last 6 months or so. From the amazing cliffs to our sweeping bays and beaches as well. And living on such a picturesque island is something we all appreciate, but for some people, the preservation of our island environment, its marine ecology, flora and fauna, is at the top of their priority list. So this award, it aims to thank people who care for the Bailiwick of Guernsey and make it the beautiful place that it is today. Well, let's find out more. Over to Gary.
Thank you, Carl. Right, the finalists for the Conservation Hero of the Year, they are Roland Govine, the Alderney Wildlife Trust founder and manager, nominated for his dedication to conserving and protecting Alderney's natural environment and wildlife. His nominator, Claire Thorpe, said, "Roland has dedicated his time to spreading the word about our amazing wildlife and doing as much as possible to enhance it." Formerly the States of Alderney Conservation Officer, Roland has always strived for positive ecological gains and has been involved in creating the Alderney woodland and grazing projects to increase floral diversity, as well as 2 reserves and their bird hides as well. Now, since its launch in 2002, the AWT's membership and volunteers have maintained and managed the island's environment, working in partnership with the Channel Islands and the UK and European conservation groups, and leading Alderney to become the first Bailiwick Ramsar site back in 2005. Our second nominee is John Horton, Alderney's Bird Observatory Warden. John helped establish the only observatory in the Channel Islands and the 20th and most southern in the British Isles, fact fans, offering vital insights into migratory patterns which would otherwise go unrecorded. Holding the position of Alderney's bird recorder, he also sits on the committees for the Channel Islands Ringing Scheme, the Bailiwick Rare Birds Panel, is Channel Islands Ambassador for Zeiss Optics, and leads specialist wildlife holidays in the Bailiwick for award-winning Nature Trek. His nominator, Norma Parrish, said John is widely acknowledged as an expert in his field, and with his infectious enthusiasm has shone an international spotlight on Alderney. And our third nominee is Janet Unit. Now, nature lover Janet has been nominated for her dedication in preserving the environment and for caring for animals and humans. Nominator Lisa Vahi said she cares for our environment and others more than anyone else I know. She has a heart of gold. As well as looking after a large number of pets, which she considers her family, she often takes in strays when vets or the shelters are unable to care for them, and cares for injured small animals as well, and for years she's been given a time to the GSPCA as well. She's also a keen beachcomber who removes any litter she comes across and is involved in the charity beach cleans that are run alongside the 30 Bays in 30 Days events, and they are your 3 nominees.
Thank you very much, Gary. So who is going to win Conservation Hero of the Year? Well, let's find out. Let's get Alan Bain of award partner Butterfield onto the stage to announce the winner. Let's hear it for Alan.
Good evening to His Excellency and Lady Corder, the Bailiff Richard McMahon and Mrs McMahon, ladies and gentlemen. Now in its 5th year, we are delighted to be part of the Pride of Guernsey Awards in 2020. In a year that has been challenging for us all, it is great to continue our involvement with these awards and celebrate those across the Bailiwick who make our community a better place to live. The Conservation Hero of the Year, now in its 2nd year, shines a spotlight on local groups and individuals who help to put the Bailiwick at the forefront when it comes to eco-friendly initiatives. The topic is also particularly close to our heart here at Butterfield. As an island-based financial services company, the economies and daily life in the communities throughout our group are closely tied to the environment. As such, we always try to focus our support on initiatives that will assist with the preservation and improvement of our island and maritime ecosystems. As such, we are delighted to sponsor this award and to be able to highlight some of the amazing work that takes place in the Bailiwick, led by passionate people. All three shortlisted nominees do crucial work in the bailiwick that not only benefits us, but also has an impact on the wider world. Our first shortlisted nominee is Janet Unit, a nature lover who is nominated for her dedication to preserving the environment and for caring for animals and humans. A volunteer at the GSPCA, Janet often cares for stray or injured animals when the shelters and vets are unable. In addition, she regularly combs the island's beaches, removing litter from our shores, some of which she has recycled to create little works of art. Roland Govan, our second nominee, is one of Alderney Wildlife Trust's founders and its current CEO. The Alderney Wildlife Trust maintain and manage Alderney's environment. Since its launch in 2002, the Trust members and volunteers have devoted themselves to conserve and protect Alderney's natural environment and wildlife. Roland has always striven for positive ecological gains rather than losses. Creating the Alderney woodland and grazing projects to increase floral diversity and supported by staff and volunteers has had a very real and positive impact on Alderney's wildlife and wild spaces. Our final nominee, John Horton, is the Warden of the Alderney Bird Observatory. It is the only observatory in the Channel Islands and the 20th and most southerly in the British Isles, offering vital insight into migratory patterns which would otherwise go unrecorded. John is the backbone of research carried out at the observatory. Through his expertise, passion and infectious enthusiasm, a number of discoveries have been made, including seeing a bearded vulture in Alderney. We'd like to pay tribute to all of those who have been nominated for this award, who have all worked tirelessly in order to raise awareness and preserve the beautiful islands that we call home. As always, selecting the eventual winner was very, very difficult. However, there can only be one winner, and we are delighted to announce that the very worthy winner of this year's Conservation Hero of the Year, Conservation Hero Award is Roland Govan.
Hello, as you can tell, I'm not Roland. He, unfortunately, because of the storm, he couldn't make it over to the island. All the boats got cancelled, and I just don't think he could, in all due conscience, fly to accept a conservation award. But he has asked me to read out a few words, so on Roland's behalf, I am incredibly grateful to be nominated for and to have won this award, and I'm sorry that the weather has prevented me making my way down to Guernsey. However, I do feel somewhat a fraud being even nominated. My time working for Alderney's natural environment, especially working for the Alderney Wildlife Trust, has been both my passion but also my profession. I feel inadequate when I compare myself to all those who dedicate their time and energy to caring for our island's wildlife. I would therefore like to dedicate this award to all those I work with at the Alderney Wildlife Trust, who really deserve the credit for putting up with me rambling, as well as all those naturalists, volunteers, school children, teachers and professionals who take action every day to care for our wild islands. Thank you.
Thank you and well done. See, this is why we love these awards, to recognise people like that. Brilliant. Our next one tonight is Parent or Parents of the Year. Families, they are the bedrock of our community, and the part that they play, of course, it's invaluable, isn't it? Yet what mums and dads do is, I think, very often overlooked, maybe taken for granted a lot of the time. Without the unconditional love, the guidance, the care, and the time that they put in, the lives and futures of thousands of young people would, of course, be very, very different. So through this award, we want to say a big thank you to all the brilliant mums and dads, the step-parents, the foster parents, the guardians, and in particular, our finalists tonight, which Gary has got some more details on.
Certainly do, Carl. Thank you. The finalists for the Parents of the Year are Kim Lechemenon. Community nurse Kim has been nominated by her daughter-in-law Emma for having a heart of gold. Emma said she was always there to help look after her boys and listen to her and offer advice. And she recently took on a role with the COVID-19 response team and went into one of the care homes to look after the sick residents, some of whom unfortunately died, and she contracted the virus herself along the way. Emma said the virus took its toll on her, and she's had one of the worst experiences ever. She's thought that she was going to die at one point, but pulled through, for her kids and grandchildren. I am so proud of her. I bet you are. Our second nominee is Enid Fowler. Enid has been nominated by her daughter Anne Blondell for being so brave and loving throughout her diagnosis of dementia. Anne said Enid and her late husband did a stellar job of raising 4 children, always putting them first, and later helping to look after her grandchildren so her own children could go out to work. In 2018, she started forgetting things. She put it down to her age at the time. She then started to hallucinate and was eventually diagnosed with a form of dementia. Anne said it was devastating. Sometimes she would forget things, sometimes even how to walk, sometimes scared stiff by things that she saw that weren't actually there. And Anne wrote this in the nomination. She said, "Mum, you are brave and still the smart and beautiful lady you always were. Thank you for still being Mum, even if at times you forget, because I don't." And our third nominees are Danica Martin and Christian Hainsworth. Now, when first-time parents Danica and Christian's daughter Cleo was born on the 14th of December, doctors found a problem with her heart, and the new family was rushed straight away over to Southampton. On the 2nd of January, baby Cleo had to have open heart surgery. Nominators Julie Ozan said Cleo was a little fighter and recovered amazingly well, meaning the family could come back home to Guernsey where they belonged. Christian was working as a contract aircraft engineer, working alternate weeks in Jersey as well. But when the pandemic hit, he returned to Guernsey, but there was no work. The couple had to find jobs, including cleaning and delivery services, just to get some kind of income. Julie said they both coped so well. I'm so proud of them. They are a beautiful little family. And Carl, those are the nominees.
Thank you very much, Gary. Some lovely nominations there. Tough one for the judges. Well, let's find out who's going to win by inviting Penny Wilson of award partner DWA to the stage. Let's hear it for Penny.
Good evening to you all. It's DWA's pleasure to yet again be part of this amazing event and sponsor of Pride of Guernsey Parent of the Year category. This has been a very difficult decision to make from 3 very worthy nominations, all with different circumstances arising from the general effect of life and, of course, COVID. Parents have had to overcome so much this year, with many implications caused by the latter. Keeping their families safe, working throughout in difficult conditions, and in circumstances not being able to see loved ones due to restrictions. Whilst this was no easy decision to make, the judges looked upon this winner differently. After all, a parent is not just for a week, a month, or even a year. Putting themselves out to do whatever their family may need, even going without themselves at times. Also encouraging and giving a lifetime of endless love whilst fighting their own daily battles. Taking all those things into consideration, tonight our Parent of the Year lifetime goes to Enid Fowler.
All yours. Take
Mum, you won. What do you think?
Okay.
Are you happy?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I think this means the world to my mum. It's made her life, really. It's been a really hard couple of years. We've been very lucky to have really good support from the care home Green Acres, but sometimes we forget who the person was, and Mum still is Mum, and she loves Guernsey, and that's why she's good, great. That's it, really. Okay?
Well done. Thank you, Anne. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, congratulations. You to keep the applause going for Enid. Congratulations. Wonderful. Thank you. Lovely to see you.
Amazing. Well-deserved winner. Congratulations. Now, the next award is the Customer Service of the Year. Now, this award celebrates those businesses and individuals who just go the extra mile, especially for you. Great customer service, when someone strives to make us feel valued, has the power to add a little bit of sparkle to our day. It really can make all the difference, can't it? Whether it's over the phone, maybe face-to-face in a shop, receiving that top-quality service it's what turns a customer into a loyal follower who comes back again and again. And we think there's hundreds of people over here in Guernsey who do that every single day, and they should be recognised for the excellent service that they do provide. So Gary's going to tell us more about tonight's 3 finalists.
I love this category. I love good customer service. The finalists for the Customer Service of the Year award, they are Daniel Ormrod. Funeral director Daniel has been nominated for the compassion, the care, and the empathy that he's brought to his role at Argent Funeral Care. He listens attentively, respects clients' wishes during obviously difficult times, and helps people commemorate the lives of their loved ones exactly how they'd wish to. Nominator Jonathan Bishard said, Daniel is the consummate professional. He's got an interest in being a funeral director when his dad passed away. He was so impressed with the way it was handled that he felt he wanted to give back and do the same for other families. He always goes above and beyond to ensure people's needs are met and to make things just a little more bearable. The second nominee is JL Innovation. Performance and Vehicle Specialist JL Innovation received a total of 15 nominations. Special mention given to founder James Larblaster and the company's head technician Tom Bourgues for donating more than 100 hours of their time to repairing the vehicles of essential workers while the island battled with the coronavirus lockdown. One of those customers was Mike Lucas, who applauded them for their hard work and dedication in such a difficult time. Another, Diane Perkins, said they were superb. They did all the carers, the doctors, the nurses, the essential workers' cars, and anything that needed fixing, they did it all for free. That's impressive. And Guernsey Post, nominated in recognition of their cheery workers during lockdown. Rosemary Farish said the company had been a lifeline for islanders, particularly those like her and her husband, who were in full isolation and they weren't able to see anybody. She said, the posties were always so polite and cheerful when they were delivering our packages, and because we had to reduce contact with everyone, they would give a knock on the door to let us know they'd been and a wave through the window if we saw them. The whole team was highly efficient, always smiling and cheerful, and got us through lockdown. Carl, you might call it a first-class delivery.
Love it. Very well thought out, like that one. So who's going to win then Customer Service of the Year? Well, let's find out. Let's get Abby T of award partner Cherry Godfrey to the stage to announce the winner. Let's hear it for Abby.
Good evening. It has been an honour to sponsor the Customer Service of the Year award. At Cherry Godfrey, customer service is one of our core principles. Providing positive touch points and experiences for customers is arguably one of the most critical aspects of the business. That's why we are delighted to sponsor this category in particular. So when the judges chose the winner, We wanted to recognise the individual or company who had gone beyond the call of duty to deliver exceptional customer service. It was great to see the passion, dedication, and generosity from the finalists. It was a challenge reviewing the 3 fantastic finalists, and a massive congratulations to you all, but unfortunately, there's only one winner. The winner of the Customer Service Award is JL Innovation. Congratulations.
What can I say? Thank you very much to everybody. Thank you hugely to the people who nominated us and who voted for us. I think when everything hit the island, like so many other small businesses over here, it had a gigantic effect on all of us, both people like myself as company owners, people like Tom as our staff. It was a scary time for all of us. And really, between Tom and I, we had a chat and we just wanted to do whatever we possibly could to help the island in that situation, rather than just run home and worry about whatever was going to happen. So give Tom his credit, it was his idea. I think as a company owner, you always try and do whatever you can, but Tom as an employee went truly above and beyond and came up with the idea of us going in for the 4 or 5 weeks that we were in isolation and doing this work for free. We did call-outs, we did all sorts, really. It was a wide range of work, that's for sure. But we just wanted to help wherever we possibly could, really. So yeah, thank you very much. We're massively pleased.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done. Some more great winners. So that's 6 awards done. Plenty more to come here at the Guernsey Press Pride of Guernsey Awards 2020. It's edition number 5. And let's get on with our next award, Diversity and Inclusion. We're pleased to launch this. Is a brand new award, brand new for this year. It's to recognize people and organizations who just embrace diversity and inclusion, making the community or their workplace a better place to be, where differences are celebrated and the people around them feel valued and included. And this award, it's a new one, as we say, for this year. It's to honor those who go above and beyond to help to break down taboos around LGBTQ, mental health, disability, neurodiversity, or other differences, who strive to create better opportunities for minority groups, and also to offer support and step up for those who need it as well. Or, if you like, a voice for those who are quite often ignored. So it's a brand new award. We like this award, and Gary has got some information on the finalists.
Delighted to do so. The finalists are Gareth Papworth. Documentary filmmaker Gareth has been nominated for breaking taboos around male mental health, encouraging discussion and signposting people in need to the correct support services. His nominator, Abigail Milton, said, Gaz single-handedly filmed, produced and edited the incredible documentary Man Down, which went on to win Best Documentary in the I Am Film Festival London, tackling the taboo of male mental health and suicide. He was determined to put himself completely out of his comfort zone by opening up about his own struggles since the sudden death of his mother, in the hope of encouraging others to talk and to seek the help they need. Our next nominee is Karen Blanchford. Through Equality Guernsey, We All Matter A, the Equality Working Group, Access for All, and the Guernsey Disability Alliance, and there's probably more, Karen has been a driving force in starting conversations about diversity across the islands. Her nominator, Ellie Jones, said, at the very beginning of lockdown, Karen jumped into action to make sure the most vulnerable wouldn't be left to feel even more isolated when the ability to connect with people face to face was suddenly removed. She started a campaign called #StayConnected, partnering with scores of volunteers and generous donors, raised thousands of pounds, which funded tablets and smartphones and mobile internet connections to help people who didn't have the means to get online all of a sudden with next to no notice. She's also, as you may be aware, fought for years to protect people from discrimination and to promote inclusion, and has been instrumental in the fight for the introduction of the discrimination legislation. And your third nominee is James Fairbrush. Teacher James goes above and beyond to ensure that the hundreds of students in his care are included and supported. With a small team, he manages the role of inclusion champion at St Sampson's High School. By liaising with support agencies, a best practice for each student is found to negotiate what teaching methods and structures work best for each of them. His nominator, Claire Fisher, said, "My son struggles at school and has done so for years. James has never given up on him. He's always contactable, brilliant at communicating with parents when they're feeling helpless. Without James and his team, my child would likely not be receiving an education now." They're your nominees in this brand new category.
Thank you very much, Gary. Well, let's find out who's going to win. Let's invite to the stage Lisa Barnett of RBC and Ellie Jones of Liberate. Let's hear it for Lisa and Ellie.
Thanks, Carl. Good evening, everyone. I'm absolutely delighted to be here to help present this award tonight with Ellie of Liberate. Truly humbled tonight from what you guys have just been doing in our community. It really has taken our breath away. So on behalf of RBC, I just really wanted to just talk to you about what we do and how we see diversity working in our environment. We know that making diversity part of our environment is the smart thing and the right thing to do. A diverse workforce reflects our clients and the communities in which we serve. And an inclusive workforce offers all the employees the opportunity to reach their potential. And when we were judging for this award tonight, that's exactly what we were looking for. Everyone has the right to reach their potential.
The differences or diversity that exists between us is what makes us special. It gives us that something else that I think powers us all along. The inclusion or not excluding people is hugely important to the work that we do at Liberate and with RBC as well. And I'm super sort of excited to be involved in the first of the Diversity and Inclusion Awards here. So, distinguished guests, the prize of £1,000 for the Diversity and Inclusion Award goes to... Always wanted to do this. James Fairbrush.
Well, first of all, my watch has just indicated my heart rate's giving me a workout, so that's a positive. I wasn't expecting this at all. Speaking to the other people in the category seat this afternoon, I thought, what am I doing here? But I'm only doing my job, that's how I feel. But look, well done to you other two as well. Please, I want you to be part of this. You're fantastic. Everyone else, inclusion across the island. It's amazing, especially to be the first inclusion award. I know people I know here are passionate about inclusion. It's brilliant to see. Thank you.
Yeah, love it. Great stuff, great stuff. Congratulations to you. Next, we move on to the Arts Contribution of the Year. Now, as we know, our islands are a showcase, aren't they, of artistic talent. We boast a large and vibrant arts community here, from musicians, actors, dancers, painters, sculptors, producers, directors. It's a big talent pool here in the island, and I think personally we continue to punch above our weight in terms of that, offering some of this achievement. It's brought us local, national, and even international acclaim as well. So this award, it recognises the important role that the arts play in our community here and celebrates those creative people who use their talents to make our community a much better place. So it's over to Gary, who's going to give you some details on the 3 finalists.
You had me worried then. I've got 3. We will find out 3 finalists for
Great.
the Arts Contribution of the Year. Our first finalist is Toby Fowler, local musician and singer. Toby was nominated for providing much-needed virtual entertainment for people during the course of lockdown. Now, his nominator, Jay Dugman, said he did 15 weeks of Facebook live streams, performed every Saturday for 3 hours straight, and sometimes even longer, doing different themes each week, including Ed Sheeran, the Easter Bunny, Christmas in April, and the one I'm going to check notes on later, being a bride for a wedding. All for free, all at a time when he was losing money and missing out on his own gigs as well. Jade said he didn't have to do this, especially when he could have been doing other things such as his songwriting. He literally saved a lot of us, especially when some had hit low points during the course of lockdown. Our next nominee is Sian Jones, and it's the 2nd year in a row that artist Sian has been nominated for this award. For her Notes to Islanders project, Sian plays positive quotes around the island to motivate people and to lift their spirits and to break down the stigma around mental health. These messages proved especially welcome during the course of lockdown. One of her nominators, Abby LePage, said, "Many people have appreciated and taken pictures of these signs. It's a beautiful way to comfort those who you don't know need comforting." Fellow nominator Matt Rains agrees, saying Islanders' mental health took a big blow during the pandemic, and encouraging conversation about our feelings and our awareness that other people share our experiences was vitally important for everybody's well-being. Along with the rainbows in windows, flags, and the pebbles on the sea walls, Sian's signs became a Guernsey Together emblem. And our third nominee is Keith Tostervin. Arts stalwart Keith has been nominated for spending nearly 60 years championing the arts in Guernsey in varying forms over the years. His nominator, Julie Tostervin-Hobbs, explained that he was the founder of the Festive Decor Christmas Lights, president of the Guernsey Film Makers Club for 20 years, part of the crew that filmed many of the royal visits to the island. He was also involved with the Eisteddfod for many years and co-led the Community Arts Association as well. In his retirement, he's not stopped. Keith has filmed and produced the Guern DVD, the highlight of many a family's Christmas for the last 10 years now. He's donated the proceeds to charities, and when COVID-19 struck in March this year, he donated leftover DVDs to raise money and help keep local charities up and running when they really needed it. In everything he's done and continues to do goes this quote: "He loves nothing more than to demonstrate and celebrate the island's beauty and share his knowledge of its amazing history." They're your nominees.
Thank you very much, Gary. Well, let's find out who's going to win Arts Contribution of the Year. Let's ask Alan Rimington of award partner Moonpig to come to the stage, and he's going to give us the winning details. Let's hear it for Alan. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Once again, for the 5th year, Moonpig is delighted to sponsor the Pride of Guernsey Arts Contribution of the Year award. Working at Moonpig, I see art and creativity every day, whether it be drawings, photos, or just humour. Each design is unique, and the talent displayed can be wonderful. Moonpig's tagline is to unleash the caring instinct in people, and as always, we can see the caring instinct is abundant in Guernsey. Now's the chance to recognise that, and in our case, local artistic talent. It's all about recognising individuals and groups who have dedicated their time to making arts such an asset to the community. The shortlisted nominees for this section are quite diverse in that they represent art and music, and I'd like to say a few brief words about them. Like Moonpig, our first nominee, who is shortlisted for the 2nd year running, aims to put smiles on Islanders' faces. Sean Jones has revisited the Notes to Islanders project that worked so well last year and repackaged it to help locals through the stresses of lockdown, to reassure people that they are not alone and to encourage conversation about how we feel. Sean's colourful pebbles, flags and rainbows seen around the island were a constant reminder to think of others' well-being. Last year, she was described as a star. This year, the description I saw was Superwoman. All this through her art. Our second nominee is a man who spans all aspects of art, from acting to directing and producing, to leading the Community Arts Association and keeping local charities up and running through COVID lockdown by donating sales of the Guernsey DVD. Keith Tostervan is a proud Guernseyman. He's been championing the arts in Guernsey with no recognition for over 60 years. Quite honestly, there is just not enough time now to give all his efforts justice. Take my word for it, the list is endless. Moving on to our third nominee. Now, this is a name that I hear regularly. I've only lived here 4 years, but I know who Toby Fowle is. A well-known solo performer who spent years gigging at different pubs with a strong fan following. But this year was different. Every Saturday night throughout lockdown, Toby did live streams for free, whilst he was losing revenue from his usual gigs, putting smiles on people's faces during a very low period. His message of positivity through his art kept people moving. The selfless time and effort that each of these nominees deliver is equally wonderful, but tonight there can be only one winner, and that is Keith Tostervan.
Well, I'm speechless. The arts in Guernsey, really well represented, and I want to make tribute tonight to the Guernsey Press and how the arts are so well supported, and particularly Sean Shackleton and his team. Every week on a Wednesday, they report on arts, and everything that's going on in the arts world is reported on the weekend paper, and I think they absolutely do magnificent work. I'd like to thank Moonpig for sponsoring this, and it's great to talk to them. And the actual contribution they make in Guernsey to our economy. We need more businesses like this, particularly this time that the financial deficit that we've brought upon ourselves. And I think we're going to all work together to encourage people like this and thank them very much for that considerable contribution they make for our island's economy and employment. And finally, I must thank the previous states, a few states ago, for making the Performing Arts Centre. Today we're reaping the rewards from this, with lots of young people coming out, supporting the arts and going into the arts world, and I think that was a very good move that they made in doing that. And I'd like to ask our budding deputies that are coming along and be elected, I wish you all well, but don't forget, this island needs an arts centre, and we're looking for your support. Thank you very much.
Love it. Very nicely done. Okay, next on the list is Carer of the Year. And we've got some truly special treasures here in our society, people who selflessly give up their time to care for others, whether they're family members, friends, loved ones, animals, or simply just someone they know, really. And the efforts of this quiet army often do go unnoticed, don't they? Except by those who rely on them. And that's the important thing. The support many carers give is often at the expense of their own lives, but they do it without a thought of receiving any thanks at all. And we think they should be recognised. And that's why we have this award. So let's find out who is up for it. It's over to you, Gary.
Thank you, Carl. The finalists then for the very special Carer of the Year are Alona Zakalapina. Alona was nominated by Donna Reed for her work as the Activities Coordinator at Chateau de Village Private Nursing Home. When Ms. Reed's son's father, James, had a stroke last year, he was taken into the care of the nursing home and he was told he would never walk again. Alona took it upon herself during lockdown to read upon the exercises and the techniques that would help him most of all. And after working with him day in and day out, he can now stand and walk, albeit holding onto a fence with one hand, and is regaining some feeling and movement in his fingers. Ms. Reed called her a wonderful lady and said she is determined to help James regain some dignity and life. Our second nominee is Becky Bailey. Now, Becky is a GSPCA care assistant and was nominated by her manager, Steve Byrne, who described her as one of the most caring individuals you could ever wish to meet. She took on even more responsibilities during lockdown by heading up the GSPCA hospital, and colleagues say she's helped save, care for, and rehabilitate many animals during the course of what has been one of the busiest years with wild animals and birds that the charity has ever seen. Steve Burns said, not only does Becky care for a huge array of animals at the GSPCA, she goes over and above to continually learn and improve not only her own work, but those around her, teaching and showing staff and volunteers techniques on how to improve their skills. And our third nominee is the Greenacres manager, Moira Boyd, who was nominated by Kathy Corbin, whose husband was a resident in the home. She described Moira as a learned lady who is honest and caring. During lockdown, the residents were not only cared for well, but they had a barbecue and they played games and they danced and they sang and they held their tea parties as well. Mrs. Corbin said, sadly, my husband passed away on the 11th of August, but I was so impressed with the care that they gave him. Moira did her very best to keep coronavirus from entering the home, and she worked hard alongside the carers. Words cannot say how she kept all the residents going and kept them entertained. Everybody worked so hard. Three very deserving nominees.
Thank you very much, Gary. Well, let's find out who's going to win Carer of the Year. Let's welcome to the stage Sean Green from the Guernsey Press. Let's hear it for Sean.
New glasses. It is a huge privilege on behalf of everyone at the Guernsey Press to present this award to the 2020 Carer of the Year. It's a particular honour to welcome to our offices His Excellency and Lady Corder, the bailiff and Mrs. McMahon, and the Deputy Bailiff, Jessica Rowland. In the darkest days of lockdown, there were moments when we feared that this year's Pride of Guernsey would never take place. Thanks to Dr. Brink's superb team and the spirit of Guernsey Together, we are here. And the inspirational nominations for Carer of the Year show why that is so important. For as we so vividly saw in the spring, carers are a vital part of Guernsey's health and social well-being, from professionals to volunteers, from the care of people to animals. This is the Cinderella sector, too often unseen and unappreciated. In the care sector, dedication, love, and self-sacrifice are a given. This year, when most of us were looking to ourselves and our families, carers were shielding the most vulnerable members of our society, putting aside their own needs and their own safety to give comfort and protection to people with disabilities, the elderly, and those with chronic health issues, all while the COVID-19 pandemic was knocking loudly at the door. In the absence of friends and family who could not see their loved ones for months on end, carers became a lifeline link to the outside world. They are the bailiwick at its best. The shortlist of nominees was drawn by the public from a very strong field. All were people who went the extra mile, bringing food, warmth, comfort, cake, often accompanied by a ready smile and a joke, no matter how grim the world outside was looking and how difficult hygiene rules made life. However, a decision had to be made, and the judges were unanimous. We are delighted to present the Pride of Guernsey Carer of the Year Award to, I'll do the envelope just to add a little bit of drama. Maura Boyd and the Green Acres team.
Wow, thank you so much. I work with a phenomenal group of people who go above and beyond for all of our residents, and this Team Green is for you. Thank you so much. I'm very proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. More deserving winners. That was Carer of the Year. And this next one is Grandparents of the Year. This award gives grandchildren really a chance to say thank you for all the love and support they receive from grandparents. Might be in the form of the odd babysitting duty here and there, maybe stepping in to help with a family crisis, or simply just being there in times of need, because, well, let's face it, we're all so busy all of the time. Often with both parents at work, it's left to grandparents. They're often relied on to help shoulder that responsibility and always do it without complaint. So this is what it's all about for this award. Gary's going to run through the final three.
Thank you, Carl. The finalists for Grandparents of the Year are, first of all, Tony and Tina Holland. Described as fun-loving and always spreading joy, Tony and Tina were nominated by their granddaughter, Freya. They're both essential workers. They've worked throughout the pandemic. Freya said, "My nan and pop spent lots of their time looking after us and have delivered food to us during the lockdown. My pop is a postman who's delivered sunflower seeds to the children on his rounds, who've brightened up their windows with rainbows as well." Tina and Tony teach their grandchildren about gardening, and they pick them up from school, having them round for Sunday brunch, always those brilliant sleepovers, and taking them on holiday to France as well. Freya thinks her grandparents are down-to-earth, ordinary people who live their lives in an extraordinary way. Our next nominees, Peter and Helena McGovern. Peter and Helena became lockdown heroes and did not hesitate for a minute to take over the full-time childcare for their 3 young grandchildren during the course of the pandemic. Their son and daughter-in-law, they're both NHS doctors in Exeter. And when coronavirus first hit the UK, they lost their regular childcare. Well, with 3 children aged 5 and 3 and 15 months, daughter-in-law Lucy faced the prospect of having to quit work to look after the children just at the very point she was needed most in hospital. Well, Peter and Helena, both former teachers, offered to take all 3 children back over to Guernsey, not knowing how long it might be for. Lucy said they've not only provided all the love and care in the world, but they've also taught the older children to read and write and the baby to walk and talk. The children are even saying they'd like to stay in Guernsey for longer. And our third nominee is grandmother Diane Dowington, who was nominated by granddaughter Luella because of the way she overcame COVID-19 and bounced back into her community and family role. When Diane caught the virus earlier this year, she had to go into hospital. She's now on the road to making a full recovery and is back working at St. Peter's Post Office. Luella said she was very proud of her grandmother's resilience. Here's the quote. "It was such a shock when she caught COVID. It really hit home how serious it was. But she's such a trooper. We weren't allowed to visit her in hospital, but we knew she was getting better because her sense of humor was there." Luella said she is the rock of the family. She says she's so kind and full of happiness and joy. Everyone loves her. She's always making me laugh. She has the best sense of humor. I can chat to her about anything. And Carl, goodness knows how the judges decided on this one. Those are your nominees.
Thank you, Gary. Yeah, as you say, very tough for the judges. Well, who is going to win Grandparents of the Year? Well, let's find out. Let's get Kenny MacDonald on stage of award partner, the Channel Islands Cooperative Society. Let's hear it for Kenny.
Good evening, everyone. As this year has proven time and time again, there are so many things we need to be grateful for, which we might too often take for granted: our health, our close-knit community, our family. What is so humbling about the Pride of Guernsey Awards is that we're all given the opportunity to stop, take notice and give thanks to the extraordinary people which we have in our island, and to give them the recognition they wholeheartedly deserve. Once again, it's an honour for us at the Channel Islands Cooperative Society to be sponsoring the Grandparents of the Year Award. For the past several years in which we have supported this category, we have always found the stories of love and dedication by grandparents to their families hugely humbling. This year, more than ever before, those stories of grandparents' devotion, overcoming hardships, challenges, and putting loved ones first before themselves brought a whole new level of selflessness, generosity, and admiration that we've ever seen before. It's only really in these challenging and unprecedented times like these that we finally realise how much we do appreciate those family members on whom we learn so much from, rely upon, and enjoy the company of. But this year, the judges were inspired by the altruism, care, and love these grandparents gave, not only strengthening a special bond between children and grandparents, but also putting their family and even community first before themselves. Doing so meant taking on full-time childcare, including homeschooling, to 3 small grandchildren, aged 5, 3, and 15 months, even though the grandparents themselves were categorised as vulnerable. A truly heroic act to come to the rescue of the parents, who themselves were able to do their own life-saving work as NHS doctors in the UK, knowing that their own family were being well looked after here in Guernsey. It is for these reasons that we are delighted to award the Grandparents of the Year 2020 and the prize to Peter and Helena McGovern. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for those very kind words. It's lovely. Our daughter-in-law Lucy says it takes a village to bring up a child, and that's exactly what we experienced during those 6 weeks, how kind everybody was to us, from our son Thomas dropping food round, our lovely neighbours for bringing toys and bicycles and leaving them outside the door, St Mary and St Michael's School for lending us books and bicycles. We mustn't forget the carers at Le Platon, because Helena's mum is there and we couldn't visit, so we knew that she was in good hands as well. So, and we were glad to do our bit for the NHS and just see that hopefully that Andrew and Lucy could just do what they love doing and helping people. And so thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Brilliant. Love it. That's what it's all about. Guernsey Press Pride of Guernsey Awards 2020. 10 awards handed out already, a few more to go. And this one is Young Achiever of the Year. I think we're so lucky to have some exceptional young people here in the Bailiwick who will no doubt go on to be equally fantastic adults. So we think they deserve a special pat on the back for their achievements, whether they are academic, a hobby, sport, the arts, that sort of thing. So this award shines a light on the hard work and commitment shown by our youngsters in the Bailiwick, who represent the promise of our community. To run through the finalists, it's over to Gary.
Carl, thank you. Let me tell you about three pretty amazing people, our finalists for the Young Achiever of the Year. They are, first of all, Luke Roberts. 17-year-old Luke has been boxing at the Amalgamated Boxing Club since he was 10 years old. His nominator, Amanda Hobart from the Boxing Club, said he's a fantastic role model to the upcoming juniors, always has time to help them and to offer them words of encouragement and advice as well. Having trained extremely hard and through sheer determination, Luke had his first bout when he was 12 and has continued to train hard ever since. He now also assists with training the younger boxers and helps out with fundraising events to support the club as well. Our next finalist is Zoe Collins. Now, Zoe has been nominated for her fundraising efforts, helping to organise the Walk 5, Donate 5 event to raise money for Les Bourgs Hospice. Zoe's best friend's mum recently died and was being looked after at Les Bourgs. Nominator Avril Earle said visiting her and seeing how much the charity does for people at the end of their lives affected Zoe so much. She felt she had to do something special to raise funds, so she organised this special walk. She started a Facebook page, she set up an event, she set up a Just Giving page, she arranged for the posters to be put out, she communicated with the hospice and the police and the constables and the parish and the agriculture departments of the states to ensure all the regulations were met top table. Mrs. Earle said Zoe is such a kind, loving, compassionate and caring teenager who is wise beyond her years. And our third finalist is Jodie Meacham. Jodie has been nominated for her fundraising efforts and achievements as head girl at St. Sampson's High School. Before Christmas, Jodie planned and organised a fundraising event, and she raised £1,400 for dementia-friendly Guernsey. She arranged for music performers and singers to come to the school and play a live concert. There was a programme of performances for the school choir and the orchestra as well. Her nominator, Georgia Howe, who's a teacher at the school, said Jodie also managed to plan a prom for her year group, despite having very little funds having been raised for it because, of course, the pandemic set them back with those plans. But she just ploughed on. She made decorations and contacted local companies to see if they could donate their times or other resources and organised a raffle and gathered all the prizes as well. Ms. Howe praised her determination and kindness and said Jodie was, and I'm sure is, one of the most courageous and outstanding students who is always looking for ways to help other people. And they're the nominees.
Thank you very much, Gary. Right, let's invite Jonathan Squire of award partner St Pierre Park to the stage, who's going to announce the winner. Let's hear it for Jonathan.
Good evening. Once again, I am delighted to be here on behalf of St Pierre Park, a sponsor of Pride of Guernsey's Young Achiever of the Year Award. Firstly, I would like to thank Guernsey Press, Daniel Green and all the backroom staff for such a fabulous evening so far. We have seen so many events cancelled this year, so to be able to continue such a special awards evening like this is just fantastic. This year, everyone has been affected in one shape or another, every age group. But I have seen at first hand, through my daughter back in England, what the younger generation have had to deal with. Schools, colleges, universities closing early, regular activity groups on hold, and having to keep in touch with their friends only through their phones and tablets, although I'm not sure there's much change there. For me, to be able to recognise young achievers means so much more this year than ever before. I would like to remind you why we have three great nominees tonight. Jodie raised £1,400 for dementia-friendly Guernsey through her determination and kindness. Jodie also helped plan the school prom. Miss Howe of St Sampson's School said, St Sampson's High School would not have had their prom if it wasn't for Jodie's determination. And she did it all with a smile on her face. Zoe raised £8,000 through a Walk 5, Donate 5 event for Les Bourgs Hospice. All this while holding the hand of her best friend, whose mum sadly passed away while being cared for at Les Bourges. Avril, her nominator, described Zoe as a gorgeous person. And in the blue corner, Luke Roberts. Luke has been boxing at Amalgamated Boxing Club since he was 10. Through sheer hard work and dedication to training, Luke had his first bout of boxing at the tender age of 12. But it's not just about him. Luke now assists with training all the younger boxers. And Amanda Hobart of the club said he's a fantastic role model to the up-and-coming juniors. Jodie, Zoe, Luke, you are all phenomenal people. And in my eyes, you are all winners. However, as always, there can only be one clear winner. So for a sheer, selfless approach, with actions beyond years, and to have the confidence to sit in front of the police, the constables, and the agricultural department, it gives me great pleasure to announce this year's Pride of Guernsey Young Achiever of the Year award goes to Zoe Collins.
Wow, I was not expecting to be standing here today. I would firstly like to say thank you to everybody for organising this event. It's been a lovely evening. I would also like to congratulate all of the other nominees because you're just as deserving to be stood here today. I'm really grateful to have been nominated for this award, so thank you to Miss Avril, my dance teacher, for nominating me. I was not expecting to win, but this one's for you, Sharon, so thank you.
Wow. Well done, everybody. Nice one. Okay, the penultimate award tonight is Neighbour of the Year. We're lucky here in Guernsey to have such a close-knit community. And neighbours, of course, a big part of that. They can make a real difference to people's lives and neighbourhoods. And it's good to know that there's someone who can rely on. You can always rely on neighbours. Nearby, they're always willing to lend a hand. And no matter where you live over here in Guernsey, there are people at the very heart of our neighbourhoods, and we want to celebrate their contributions for this award. So over to Gary, who's going to tell us more about the finalists.
Delighted to be your neighbour tonight on stage. The finalists for Neighbour of the Year are Nikki Kerr. Chris Smith has lived next door to Nikki for more than 4 years and nominated her for being a wonderful neighbour and a friend. She said she's always there in a quiet, unassuming way to help anyone with anything. I've lost count of the number of times she's been there for me personally. I could phone her at any time of day or night, and I know she would come out and help me. They live in an assisted living complex with more than 70 residents, but Mrs. Smith said she visits anyone who falls ill and leaves them a present to brighten their day as well. Our next finalist is Richard Skipper. Publican Richard was nominated separately by 3 of his neighbours, Marissa Rebilliard, Sania Help, and Gary Shepherd, for his community spirit. Mr. Skipper, affectionately known as Skip, runs the Plough In Vobert, I know it well. His Plough Out initiatives raise money for various charitable causes, including Macmillan Cancer Support and Guernsey Mind as well. Ms. Rebilliard said, Skip is one of the most caring gents I know. He often gets involved in community initiatives, and during the pandemic, he teamed up with the Contramansal stores to organise deliveries of essentials to elderly and vulnerable people in the community in town. He is 1 in a million and totally deserves to be recognised. And our third finalist is Amy McCall. 14-year-old Amy was nominated by her neighbour Jane Lacroix for her kind heart. Throughout lockdown, Ms. McCall baked trifles, cookies fairy cakes, meringue and scones, and then she delivered them to her neighbours each week. Oh, to have a neighbour like that. She also left notes offering to run errands or help out with odd jobs. Ms. Lacroix said it was a lovely gesture to do what she did every weekend. Even though she's only 14, I think she shows a kindness and wisdom beyond her years. They're your neighbours.
Thank you very much, Gary. So who's going to win there? Neighbour of the Year? Well, from award partner Guernsey Gas, let's invite to the stage Mr. Bob Beebe. Let's hear it for Bob.
His Excellency, Lady Corder, distinguished guests, and all you beautiful people, good evening. Guernsey Gas are delighted to be sponsoring Neighbour of the Year Award as part of the Pride of Guernsey 2020 Awards. This year, more than any, in living memory has seen every single one of us face challenges that we have never faced before. With the COVID pandemic, and this evening we are here to celebrate the many amazing people in our island, and being a good neighbour couldn't have been more appropriate this year, where islanders have felt vulnerable at times and often separated from loved ones in bubbles, multiple bubbles, family bubbles during the lockdown. Our homes are very special to us, not only because they are where we live, our treasure of our homes, but also because of the people who live in our island community, our family members, our neighbours, and our friends, who are key to building an endearing home and cultivating a community spirit which makes our homes and our islands such a special place to live. Many neighbours actively make a difference to the lives of those around them, some of them in their own interesting way. Through their thoughtful acts and kindness, their neighbourliness has helped many people enjoy a better life, feel secure and cared for more than words can express. Some neighbours this year saw their own neighbours for the very first time, all of those on Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. applauding our dedicated health workers. Why don't we do that just one more time? So what makes a good neighbour? Contrary to what many of you think, you don't need to do something out of the ordinary to be a good neighbour. Often, it's the ordinary things that impact people in the most extraordinary ways. Many neighbours are closer than ever before and have social media groups to keep in contact if there are any local concerns affecting where you live. So, ladies and gentlemen, everyone here has a part to play in creating a better living environment and progressing together as a cohesive and resilient island community. It's important to remember gracious living and harmonious community starts with each and every one of us. It does not matter if our contribution is large or small. Be the one to take the first step. Get to know your neighbours, make friends, and help wherever you can. The nominees for this year's Pride of Guernsey Neighbour of the Year Award are testament that our community spirit is alive in Guernsey and very strong, and that taking the time to get to know your neighbours and help when needed has a significant and positive impact on the whole island community. Guernsey Gas would therefore like to extend sincere thanks to each and every one of our nominees this evening. I've met them all, they should all be winners. And especially to our winner, though, and finally, to all islanders who offer a helping hand and to look out for those who need a little extra help. Be kind, caring and respectful. You are what makes our island a wonderful place to live. Guernsey forever and together. Congratulations to all the nominees for the Pride of Guernsey 2020 Neighbour of the Year Award, and continue to keep up the good work. This year, finalists, as Gary said, Richard Skipper, Nikki Kerr, Amy McCall. Let's now see who has won this year's award. It's not the Grammys, is it? The Guernsey Press Pride of Guernsey Neighbour of the Year Award goes to Nikki Kerr.
thank you very much. I'm really honoured and very proud to be having this award, as I do know how much it means when you do something, even a little thing, for somebody. It's very important to keep on doing that. I'd like to thank Christine for nominating me, and for everybody that's nominated me. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you very much.
Well done. Congratulations, Nikki. Thank you, Bob. Final award, can you believe? Award number 13 of the night. Our final one, Overcoming Adversity. There's many islanders, young and old, who face challenges every single day that can seem insurmountable, whether they be emotional or physical, mental or social. And when some of them rise to meet that challenge and show their personal strength and spirit, it is impressive. And it's humbling as well, isn't it, just to see it. And that's why we have this award, which applauds their achievements of overcoming the impossible and offers hope and inspiration to others. Gary will now tell us who the finalists for this award are.
Carl, thank you. The finalists for the Overcoming Adversity Award are Kevin Parsons. Alliance supermarket worker Kevin has been nominated for always putting a smile on people's faces. Nominator Nell Broom said Kevin has autism and has worked at Alliance Supermarket for over 35 years. He's always pleasant, polite and helpful to customers, never grumpy. He puts a smile on everybody's face. If anyone deserves an award for making the most of life, no matter what it throws at you, then Kevin does. He also organises movie evenings for residents at La Nouvelle Maritaine, where he lives, and recently secured £2,000 sponsorship from a local company to buy 2 blackout blinds for the community lounge to help several of the residents see the movie screen better. If you're going to do it right. Our second finalist is Lucia Pagliaroni. Lucia has been nominated for her role in campaigning tirelessly for the community of Guernsey to be treated fairly and in a non-prejudicial way. From the Guernsey Drug Strategy campaign, Lucia has been pressing for changes in local cannabis legislation and calling for an amnesty to help people who say they need the drug for medicinal reasons. Nominator Amy Hook said this determination has helped lead to 3 policy and review amendments being put forward, and ultimately then the Circe motive that was put forward and passed recently. Lucia is the voice overcoming adversity and helping bring a fair justice system, an inclusive way of living for all. And your third finalist, Jake Garnham Burton. 13-year-old Jake has had to deal with more in his life than most of his age, as well as having attention deficit hyperactivity disorder and a condition that can delay development. In 2017, he was diagnosed with Burkitt lymphoma. It's a cancer of the lymphatic system, and he had to spend 4 months in hospital in Southampton, including in intensive care for a time. He's also had to endure the loss of 2 grandparents and a godfather, and 2 months after his cancer diagnosis, his father was diagnosed with leukemia and is still undergoing treatment. His mum, Claire Garnham, said he has not let any of this destroy his beautiful, caring nature. I'm so proud of him, she said. He's been really good at handling every situation brilliantly. And they're the finalists.
Thank you very much, Gary. Well, let's find out. Let's invite Fern Hill of award partner Close Finance to the stage to tell us who the winner is.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, last award of this evening. How are we all feeling? How's that wine flowing? Well, for a number of years, Close Finance have proudly sponsored the Overcoming Adversity Award. And every year we're inspired and humbled by the many stories that people on this island carry with them. We are privileged to receive and read all of these nominations that we receive. We wish we could award all of them, but it's always an incredibly difficult choice. No matter who you are or where you've come from, we all have had to overcome adversity at some point in our lives. But the question is whether you let adversity break you or whether you use it to strengthen your confidence. Sometimes the boost you need can come from powerful short stories that inspire you to keep going, and an evening like this is one that highlights some of those. Adversity shakes us to the core because it challenges our beliefs about ourselves and our place in the world. Adversity may show us that we are vulnerable and less important than we thought, but learning to deal with and overcoming adversity is what builds character and resilience. Every challenge and every difficulty we successfully confront in our lives serves to strengthen our confidence and our ability to conquer future obstacles. I personally felt that this award for overcoming adversity has come at a very poignant time in the history and future of our island. We as an island have had to come together to overcome adversity, to battle the circumstances of the dreaded coronavirus. There were many superb nominees for this category, but as the saying goes, actually no, they're all winners in our eyes at Close Finance anyway. But it says that there can only be one winner, and the winner of this award always puts others first, is always pleasant, polite, and helpful to customers, and never fails to put a smile on anyone's face. A keen organiser of movie evenings for residents of La Nouvelle-Maritime. And my question to you, Kevin, is what is your favourite movie? We are extremely honoured to be able to present the Overcoming Adversity Award for 2020 to Kevin Parsons.
Crikey, I am shocked. Yeah, one thing, my favourite movie is, and I want you to answer me this. Now, where I live, my flat is called the Penthouse. Now, does anybody know which film that comes from? Anybody? Come on, there must be. Don't feel shy. Go on then, go for it. Don't.
Go for it.
Go on then. Go for it. Anybody? No? Yay! Pretty Woman, yes. Well done. Yeah, like I said, yeah, I'm honoured because I am shocked that I haven't even done a speech. But all I can say is I suffer from learning disabilities, autism. So this is to all the people with learning disability and autism. You know, we don't get recognised. Okay.
Anything else you want to say?
No, that's just it. I think so. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely brilliant. Superb. Now, before we finish, I'd like to welcome Guernsey Press Chairman Terry Holder back to the stage for a special announcement. Terry. Round of applause for Terry there. Thank you.
We do have an additional award this year. There aren't any nominees. For many years, the Guernsey Press has championed the Guernsey Ambassador of the Year award. This award recognises those who enhance the reputation of the island as a result of their activities. To give you a flavour, previous winners included Andy Prio, Raymond Evison, Stuart Fowler, Dame Mary Perkins, Heather Watson, and Roger Alsop. So you can appreciate how they have added to the positive reputation of Guernsey. In this remarkable year, we have brought this award back for good reason, and I invite His Excellency, Sir Ian Corder, to come to the stage to announce the winner of the Guernsey Press Ambassador of the Year for 2020 and to present the trophy. Sir Ian.
Thank you, Terry. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before I start, I know Catherine would like to join me in extending our personal sympathies to Zeph's family. Zeph was no stranger to Government House. He supported many of the things we tried to do. And also I was privileged, we were both privileged to see an awful lot of his work in support of various causes around Guernsey. And as Jeff has already pointed out, he represented all that was absolutely the best about this island. The freedom of spirit, the willingness to push things to the limit and beyond, and that zest for life, and also his determination to give back to the community, particularly to inspire those youngsters who I know he wanted to follow him. So words are never adequate at this sort of time, but please know that all of our hearts are with you, and we know you'll get through it, and people here are here to help you. Moving on, can I say thank you again to the Guernsey Press. This is the 5th year of these awards. This is the 5th year that you, together with your sponsors, have taken it upon yourselves to go out and hunt out what is good about Guernsey. To go and hunt it out, bring it forth, because these people we've recognised tonight don't always, in fact, very, very seldom seek the limelight, and they need to be found and they need to be brought to our attention. And you've shown us yet again that magical cocktail of individual and collective acts of goodness, hundreds and thousands of them every day, that come together to make a sort of magical alchemy that makes this place such a special place to live. So, you know, a huge congratulations to all of the nominees and especially to the winners tonight. As always, what you've done is very, very special. And of course, thank you to Carl and Gary for guiding us through the evening. It's never easy, especially at moments of such high emotion, and you've done it with consummate professionalism and no little sense of humour, so thank you very much indeed. Okay. Inevitably, a lot has been said about the consequences of the pandemic tonight. And I don't want to repeat that particularly. I just want to take a slightly different slant. Imagine what it's like to be someone who works away, relatively unrecognized, in an extremely important job, the job of acting as the custodian of public health. And on a day-to-day business, relatively routine stuff. Very important stuff, but relatively routine. But then, of course, you're the one that's sitting there planning for the unthinkable. You do it because it's your job and it's your profession and it's your life's work. But in your heart of hearts, you don't really expect it to happen. But then suddenly, probably about last December, you could see it starting to build. And you knew it was coming. What must that have felt like? And then suddenly, in the matter of 6 weeks, you suddenly found yourself on point for your entire community as the expert, leading us through the worst crisis that the island has faced, the Bailiwick has faced, and the world has faced for over, for several generations. Imagine what that must feel like. Now, I've seen that happen in different contexts, not quite as dramatic, but in different crisis contexts in other places. And I can tell you, not everybody is able to cope with that. But Dr. Nikki Brink absolutely nailed it, as you all know. She has led her team with absolute professionalism. She has guided us with care and compassion and crystal clear communications and explanations about what she is doing and why she is doing it. She has kept to her strategy and trusted her judgment. And I can tell you that is really, really difficult in the maelstrom of conflicting advice and emotion and developments that are going on out there in the world. There's been no flinching from the really tough decisions required, many of which, of course, rested upon her personally. And there were decisions that involved taking away liberty in a fashion that hasn't been done since the last war. And also knowing that people would live or die as a consequence of your decisions. So imagine what that's like. Now, it's not surprising that as things unfolded, Dr. Brink's reputation spread much wider than Guernsey. And she achieved professional accolades from all over the world. And not just professional accolades, I'm told. I'm told one lady even asked that Nikki record sat-nav instructions to calm her husband's excitable driving. Now, Nikki will doubtless want to recognise everybody else that has been part of this effort. Her team, all the health professionals that have supported us, the support workers, the administrative staffs, even, dare I say it, the politicians who have led us. But it was upon her to provide that professional expert leadership. And without that, the whole thing would not have knitted together. And I can tell you, that is not easy. I'm also sure that Nikki, or she'll doubtless speak for herself in a minute, but I'm also sure that she would tell us that it's not over yet. And in many ways, some of the toughest decisions are still yet to come as we seek her professional and expert advice, not on how to protect ourselves from the virus per se, but actually how to take sensible risks to open the society back up and return to normality, a process that is going to take quite a long time. But I'm absolutely confident, with all that she's done so far, the confidence that we all now have in her, that she will not fail us in that task. So I'm delighted to announce that the winner of the 2020 Guernsey Press Ambassador of the Year is Dr. Nikki Brink.
So thank you so much, Sir Ian. I'm very, very humbled and touched by those words, so thank you very much. And I think the last 6 months, 8 months have been completely unprecedented. And I really stand here today on behalf of all of us, because actually this is what the Bailiwick of Guernsey has achieved. We've worked together as a team. The public health team will be still in work this evening, generating results for those people who've returned to the island, trying to get the results out as soon as possible. But also, all of us have worked together to get ourselves in a situation where we can have an evening like this tonight. So I'm incredibly honoured and humbled to receive this, and thank you so much to each and every one of you.
Wow. Thank you very much. And what a way to finish. What an amazing evening. That's just about it. Actually, one last part of the evening to complete before we go. What we'd like to do is invite all the winners of tonight's categories, all the winners, to come up to the side of the stage just here on my left, your right, because you're going to be taken round the back to the print room behind me to help start the Guernsey Press printing presses rolling. I know, you're actually getting it underway. So all the winners, if you'd like to come to the side of the stage, and the Guernsey Press team will tell you where to go. Because the Guernsey Press, they're producing a memento of today's event, which everybody can take home. So that's going to be great. Enjoy that. Have some fun doing that. On behalf of the Guernsey Press, though, thank you all for coming to the Pride of Guernsey Awards tonight. That includes all our distinguished guests, our finalists, our award partners, and our guest host, Mr. Gary Burgess.
Oh, thank you.
What a legend. And of course, our wonderful award winners. And they're just making their way. They're going to go and get things rolling out the back there. And they, of course, can wear their Pride of Guernsey medals with honour. So thank you very much indeed.
Carl, can I just do one final thing? We've thanked some amazing people in the island. There are a couple of people who've made this awards ceremony happen behind the scenes. Could I invite Evie and Sue onto the stage, please? We don't normally do a public thank you. It's normally done with fish and chips when you've gone home. But I've been asked tonight, can we have Evie and Sue onto the stage? And could you give them a round of applause as we give them a very special thank you? Well done, Sue. And I think Evie's gone to start the printing press, so we may take the flowers to her. So, Sue, thank you. Evie, if we don't see her, thank you, but she may appear. And Carl, I hope you don't mind me just springing that on at the very end. I will be quiet now.
Not a problem. What a lovely thing to do, a fine way to finish. Once again, thank you. See you next time. Thank you.